And the lady sitting with the head of the lioness is a goddess known as Sekhmet, S-E-K-H-E-M-T. Sekhmet was a goddess of war and fighting. And she was a very aggressive goddess against the enemies of Egypt. The two black statuettes for the king is, in these two statuettes, he is representing in the form of a young god. The name of that young god is Ihi, I-H-I, Ihi. And the god Osiris, the god of the dead, the judge of the afterlife, or the god Horus, the falcon-headed god, the protector god of Egypt, Horus. And we have a statuette for the cobra, the goddess protecting Lower Egypt, and another one with the falcon head, the god known as Horus again. Actually, there were two many gods during the ancient times. Some of them in charge of protection and some of love, beauty, happiness, cemetery. There were a god for everything. Actually, now we were lucky to discover the throne of the king. This is the only royal throne we have found in Egypt, and still intact, still in a very good shape. The throne of King Tutankhamun, the king used during his lifetime. The material of this throne is wood and covered with sheets of gold. And on the front part of the throne, if you look at it, you will see the scene of the king sitting and the queen touching him with love. And next to the queen, you can see a packet of flour. Can you see it? Yeah. In the same time, the two of them having in their feet just one pair of sandals. That means they are one person. They have one sandals in their feet. One barefoot and the other with one part of the sandals. This is the throne of the king, and the king is protected by the goddess Wadjet, the cobra, the goddess of Lower Egypt. And that goddess Wadjet actually has the crown of Upper and Lower Egypt on her head. That means the protection is not for just one part, it's for the two parts. The king will live forever in the paradise after his death. But according to the religion, the king should go once every day during that afterlife to the court of the judge of the afterlife in order to answer one single question. That means one question every day. It means 365 questions. And instead of disturbing the king and inviting him every day to go to the court of the judge of the afterlife to answer that single question every day, they made 365 or 366 statuettes. And on the front of each statuette, they put the answer of each question of every day. And instead of going, he will send one of these statuettes. We have here another chair for the king. It's one of the chairs used by the king during his great festivals. It's the festival chair. It looks, if you look from the size, you may think that it's a folding chair. It's not a folding, it looks like a folding. If you look to the legs of the chair from any side, you will see that the leg was shaped as if it was a head of one of the ducks or one of the goats. Can you see it? A head of the geese. Also inlaid with ivory and ebony. This is some of the alabaster work we discovered in the tomb of King Tut. Actually, we have here this alabaster statuette for the god of joy and fun. The name of this god is Bes, B-E-S. It was just for fun and joy and happiness. Beside that, actually, we have these small alabaster vases or jars for the perfumes of the king. Carter, after the discovery of the tomb, reported that he had the smell of the perfumes in these jars when he opened it for the first time after the discovery. And in the same time, the Egyptians used to make perfumes or the essence for the perfumes out of the real roses or flowers by squeezing the roses or the flowers in some piece of linen. and getting the essence itself. What we have here, some other of the pieces of the alabaster work discovered in the tomb of King Tutankhamun. Also the vases, each one of them is one piece of alabaster stone, and they were for perfumes. And in the same time, you can see the lion on the lid of this jar actually for the perfume, and this lion is also smiling. Everything in Egypt is smiling for everybody. Yeah. This is magic formulas, and this jar was used for some magic reasons, maybe to heal some of the diseases. These are like models for the solar boat on which the king will go around the universe. With some magic, this model will be a real one, and the king will go around the universe by day from east to west, and by night from west to east. And the throne on the boat itself is for the king to sit. In front of him, usually we have the bodyguard, the funeral beds. We are not sure about the exact function of these funeral beds. But if you look to these beds, you will find they were shaped in different way from the typical bed the Egyptians used. The front of this one was decorated with the head of the cow. And the cow during the ancient times was considered as a manifestation for the goddess of love and beauty. But having the cow in the tomb, it means she is the god in charge of protecting the tomb of the king and receiving the dead king with love and happiness, to make him cheerful and going to the afterlife with a cheerful spirit. With the body of a crocodile, if you look to the body, it's a crocodile's body. Both the hippopotamus and the crocodile were considered as a protection against evil spirits. If you look to the head of the hippopotamus, you will find the teeth and the tongues. And the name of that goddess of war and fighting has the head of the lioness is Sekhmet. It was very important for the Egyptians to keep the bodies in a good shape forever. And that's why they discovered the best way to do that. I mean, the mummification. To mummify a body, the Egyptians used to start by opening this side, the left side. The inner organs of the body of the king should be taken outside. And they used to put these inner organs in separate jars. These jars are known as the Canopic Jars, the alabaster chest for the inner organs of the body. So the shrines, actually this shrine was decorated with the coronation of cobras on the top, symbolizing protection. And the figures of four goddesses, Goddess Isis, Goddess Nephthys, and Goddess Neith, beside Goddess Selket. Each one of these four goddesses are spreading the arms, symbolizing protection, protecting the inner organs of the body of the king.